Right, how do I go? Oh, yeah, that's weird. Alright then folks, welcome back to the Vogue Auto Group YouTube channel. Today you're joining me with this all-electric, none of this hybrid stuff, Ford Mustang Mach-E all-wheel drive. So let's see what she's all about. So I've got her turned on, ready to go. Let's see what she's all about. She's going to be pretty pulley, isn't she? Like, it's all torque. Like, we've got 580 Newton meters of torque. It's just going to go. Right, park brakes off. We're in drive. Let's go. Everything about this car is so smooth. Like, the way it drives, obviously, it's so smooth. But steering and everything just feels very effortless, I think is the word I'm looking for. And obviously it's so quiet on the road, so we won't have really any road noise, which is quite nice. One thing about SUVs is that they are usually pretty nice at being quiet inside, don't you think? Oh my god, this brake thing's so weird. Do you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull over down here. I'm going to try it in normal mode because this is kind of freaking me out. Oh my god. And then the brakes are so sharp as well, so. Right, let's turn this one pedal drive off and just drive like a normal person for a little while, I think. Let's give it a little test here. Yeah, that feels a bit more normal to me. Give it a blast. Oh my god, it proper sucks you in. This is whisper mode, by the way. My god. Jesus. First impressions of never driving an electric car, I'm actually pretty wowed by the feeling of it, if I'm being honest. The only thing I can compare this to, and obviously it's because that's an SUV anyway, is I've driven a Range Rover Vogue, albeit it was like a 2010 one, but it has that same kind of feeling where it feels very like smooth and just nice and effortless really, and the way the power is as well, to be honest. It just feels very nice to drive, easy to drive once you get your head around the whole electric thing. And if you're used to driving an auto, then this won't really be an issue at all. You'll just jump in it and drive off. But when you drive a manual, I think when you then get into an auto, it's very strange. Can you tell how quiet it is in here? Like, it's so quiet. One thing I've noticed straight away with this car is that it's so easy to be breaking the speed limit. I know that's a bit of a strange thing to say, but hear me out. So because this car feels so effortless, and when you put your foot down it just goes, it's so easy, like you don't realise how quick you are actually going. And I think that's because it's so quiet and everything else, you just, you know, in the ride so smooth that you couldn't possibly be doing the speed that you're doing. Like in no time you're up to like 60, 70. It's just a crazy feeling, to be honest. It just feels really, I'm not sure how to describe it, but it's just, you look down at the speedo and you're like, oh crap, I better slow down. But yeah, it's a lovely drive. It's very comfortable, and I think if you're looking for, you know, if you want to step into the electric world and you obviously want a SUV or something like that, I definitely think that this is a good place to start, at least if you are looking for an electric car that you can still obviously get people in the back. You can get stuff in the boot. It's still a very usable car, and even the range that this has, this model in particular, I think has a range from fully charged of 224 miles or something like that, which I know you're going to say, well, that's not that great, but it's not that bad either. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, you can get to a lot of places that are like 100 miles there, 100 miles back. That's if it's true to its word. I know for me, especially most of the time, like my studio where I work is only 3 miles away, so I'm only going to be doing 6 miles a day. So if this was my car, then it would well excel my daily needs. Go. Now I know what most people are going to think about this car, and I've definitely thought it myself. Why on earth did Ford, it's supposed to be a Mustang, why have they made it so not Mustangy? Like, I am a die-hard Mustang fan. Actually was lucky enough to grow up with a couple of Mustangs, and they are just one of my ultimate favourite cars. So when I heard that this electric Mustang was coming, I was excited for it to obviously be a Mustang but be electric, and clearly that's not the case. But my feelings towards that have actually changed, and I feel like that's probably a better stance, although I don't think they should have called it a Mustang. I mean, after all, Mustangs are 5-litre V8 absolute slabs of American muscle, so I don't think it would be fair to throw an electric motor in there. I don't know, what do you think about that? Right, I think let's try, do you know what, I'm not even going to try with active. I'm just going to go straight to untamed, because why the hell not? Why the hell not? Oh my god, did you see that? Oh my god, wow, that is unbelievable. Now I want to see if there's anything that's changed about the way that it drives or anything like that. Oh my god, even the propulsion sound that it has, I wouldn't say it's not an engine noise, but it's like a I don't know, do you know what I mean? Oh, that sound, can you hear that? Can you hear that? That's where it gets a bit of Mustang throatiness, do you know what I'm saying? But this is an electric car, like, my brain can't handle this. If you get the chance to drive one of these, defo get in it. I think you'll be not swayed as such, but I think, like, oh my god, it goes. I definitely prefer it with the one pedal drive turned off. I'm sure some people, once they get used to that, it will be nice, but I just prefer taking my foot off the accelerator and it's still rolling rather than slamming on all of a sudden. I mean, it doesn't quite slam on, but with this being the all-wheel drive model as well, you've obviously got all four wheels pulling you along, so you shouldn't get stuck anywhere, or if you end up in some sticky situations, you should be all good to go. I feel like in the untamed mode though, it still has a bit of that like one pedal drive thing going on. Not really sure, but it feels like there's still something when you take your foot off the pedal. It definitely slows down a bit, but it's probably because it's untamed, it wants to make sure you're nice and safe. So in this car you've got like all the kind of nice things that you expect on a modern car. We've got heated seats, heated steering wheel, we've even got a wireless phone charger built into the centre console here, which is pretty cool, so you can just throw your phone on there and off it charges. One cool thing I found out about this car is that it has the like ULEZ clean air zone-y type thing kind of exemption. So as far as I know, if there is a like ULEZ lane that is obviously for like eco vehicles, then you can just go on by. If there's a queue of traffic and there's one of them ULEZ lanes, best believe I'll be diverting in there and heading off. I'm sure a lot of people will be confused because they're usually bus lanes too, but yeah, you can actually go into those lanes because you are ULEZ exempt, clean air zone exempt because you're an electric vehicle. So I think that's a pretty cool thing, you know, if you're heading into cities quite often that have these lanes and stuff, you can obviously get the benefit out of it, really. Vogue have got an absolute cracker of a car here, and if you are, like I say, looking to step into the electric market, then this is definitely something that you should be checking out. It's only done 11,800 miles. But yeah, if you're interested in this car, I'll leave the details down below in the description box with a link to their website with this car, if it's still available, that is. I can't see this hanging around for long, if I'm honest with you. Defo getting spaceship vibes though. Feels futuristic, not of the norm of driving a car, but if this is the way that cars are going, then I can't really complain, to be honest. I suppose in the long run it is just a range thing that's an issue, isn't it? Like, we need cars that have the same range as a petrol vehicle or a diesel vehicle or what have you, and then with the charging it needs to obviously charge fast enough that if you are popping into a services or whatever, that you can actually get enough juice that you don't have to keep stopping at lots of services. Because like, I know me, when I'm driving, I don't stop at services pretty much Never. Unless I have to. I'm just a get to the destination kind of gal. Do you know what I'm saying? Right, I'm going to put the one pedal drive back on. Just see what it's like again. So what do you think of the whole Mustang thing? Do you think it should be called a Mustang? It obviously doesn't look like a Mustang. I do actually think this has been a grower on me, this car. Seeing it when it first came out, I was like, what the hell is that and what have you done? But the more you live with it, the more you get used to it. And I can appreciate that it is a nice car. But there we go. You know, you win some, you lose some. Heading back into Vogue now. I've had an absolute blast driving this car. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, it tells you to make sure you check the rear that there isn't anyone still in the car. That's hilarious. No, it's just me. Right, so that is the end of the video. Time to love you and leave you. If you have enjoyed this video, please do make sure that you give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And as always, I'll catch you in the next one.